Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. So in this video we're going to be doing chapter 7 verse 29. Um, this one is confusing for me. Let's go to the verse and I will tell you what the confusion is. I feel that Swami Mukundanand's explanation was a little bit clearer for me, but it's still just the whole thing confused me. Okay, so let's sing this together. Jara Mara Mokshaya Mamashritya Yatanti Ye Te Brahmatva Tadviduh Kritsan Madhyatman Karma Chalikham. Wow, okay, my brain seems to be all foggy right now. Okay. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Now, the whole thing confused me. Let's do word by word and I'll tell you what confused me. Jara from old age, Marana from death, Moksha for the purpose of liberation, Ma, me, Ashrita, taking shelter, and Yatanti, endeavor, ye, all those. This okay, so all those who endeavor to take shelter of me, it's all backward, huh? All those who endeavor to take shelter of me for the purpose of liberation from old age and death. That part is clear, right? Very clear. Those persons, they, Brahman, Tat, actually that, Vidu, they know Kritsnam, everything, transcendental. So those who are endeavoring, so he's calling them intelligent persons. That's not written directly here, intelligent. But those who are endeavoring to take shelter of me for the purpose of liberation from old age and death. So in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, we're not supposed to even, ask. The ultimate perfection is not even to ask. No, I don't want to say not supposed to, but ultimate perfection is not even to ask for liberation from birth and death. The ultimate perfection is to ask to just serve him, to love him, ask for Krishna Prem, ask to be able to love Krishna and serve him without any expectations of liberation even. But what he's saying here, which is higher, right, which is a higher place, but what he's saying here is those who are endeavoring for liberation, those are intelligent people, and such persons, they Brahman, actually that they know everything transcendental activities entirely. So they actually know everything. They know everything about transcendental activities, and they such persons are Brahman. They are actually Brahman. Okay, so now my confusion is, first of all, intelligent persons is not written here, and then take refuge in me in devotional service is not written here. It's just those who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me. Those who take refuge in me, there, and then it says they are actually Brahman because they know everything about transcendental activities. Okay, now from what I have heard is that when you go down the Advaitic perspective and when you want to become, so he talks about Aham Brahmasmi, right? I am spirit. That is self-realization. There's a difference between self-realization and God realization. So self-realization is one step. That's what Swami Mukundananda will get to it just now. So once you understand that I am soul, I am spirit, I am not this body, I'm not all of this thing that looks like what I am, but I'm actually the soul. So once you realize that, that is step one. That is, but then you merge according to the Advaitic principles. You merge into Brahman. So when you feel like I am Brahman, what I have read in the last Saturday's Gita class as well, is that you don't have any emotions. You feel peace. You feel absolute total ultimate peace. You don't feel any emotions at that time. You don't feel joy, bliss, happiness, any of that. You just feel peace. And you don't really know the truth. You don't know the ultimate truth. You know the truth. You absolutely know the truth that you are spirit. You get self-realized, but you don't know God realize. You don't get to God realization. So now what he's saying here is those who are endeavoring will, maybe this is what he's saying, those who are endeavoring from liberation will know that they are Brahman and they will get liberated, and but they will know about transcendental adhyatmam activities. Adhyatmic versus bhautik. Adhyatmic means spiritual and bhautik means material. So they'll know everything kritsnam, they'll know everything about transcendental, about adhyatmic activities. So but to know everything about adhyatmic activities is to go to Krishna. So what he's saying here is, now it seems to be contradicting the verse, which I don't understand. Obviously, Prabhupada has like been at the top of the mountain, higher at the mountain than I have, so I don't know. But he's saying that those four kinds of impure devotees, I think that was in verse whatever earlier in in chapter 7, where he gave four kinds of people: who are inquisitive, people who want material wealth, that kind of stuff. They if they are in service of the Lord, they will achieve their goals and then they will become Krishna conscious, fully Krishna conscious. So they're on the right path. But those who are worshippers of demigods never reach the Supreme Lord. I don't like this word never. Like, I mean, as far as from my understanding, those who are worshippers of the demigods will, this is a stepping stone. God said in here in chapter 7 that he will give them faith in order to continue to worship those demigods, because it'll help them. It'll help them be at the next step. They want material things or whatever, so they're worshipping the demigod, so they will get to the next step. And then once they're there, you have to go through it to get past it, right? Many times you can't bypass. So this is their step, and they will go through it and they'll get past it, and then they will come to Krishna, right? Because they'll be like, okay, I've achieved this, I've gone to heaven, I've gone to Swarglok, and I'm back. Like, I've enjoyed the fruits of my labor, the fruits of my yajna, fruits of my devotion to demigods, and now I'm back. So it's not never, it's just that that's a stepping stone from my understanding. And then even the less intelligent Brahman realized persons cannot reach Golok, Vrindavan, which is the supreme planet of Krishna. But this seems to be saying that you can, because they are actually Brahman, and they know everything about the Adhyatmic. They know Kritsnam about Adhyatmam. So I don't understand this. Okay. So let's do Swami Konana, because he explains it better, like a different way. So yeah, Sri Krishna explained earlier in 726 that no one can know God by the strength of their own intellect, but God can be known by virtue of his grace. Okay, so in this verse he's saying, I will help them. So the translation is, those who take shelter in me, striving for liberation from old age and death, come to know Brahman, the individual self, and the entire field of karmic action. So, Adhyatmam is not spiritual here. The Adhyatmam is the individual self. So, Kritsnam is everything, but Adhyatmam is the individual self. So they get to know the individual. Okay, that helps me understand a little bit better. They get to know the Brahman, which is the self-realization takes you to Brahman. God realization takes you to Krishna Lok or Golok Vrindavan. So they come to know Brahman, the individual self. If Adhyatma is the individual self, they get to know that, and the entire field of karmic actions. Totally different translation in this. Okay, and this thing is helping me understand a little bit more. So he's saying that if we go to him with the intent of liberation, then we will attain Brahman. We will attain self-realization. Okay, this helps. Okay, and then so then we'll understand the entire field of karmic action. God cannot be known through spiritual discourses, or nor the intellect, nor hearing teachings. Only when he bestows his grace upon someone does that fortunate soul come to know him. This is in the Kathopanishad. And then the Vedas, if you know God, you'll know everything. Okay, so now here is the powerful part. He says, some spiritual seekers consider Atma Gyan as the ultimate goal, but it is only a tiny drop in the ocean of knowledge, which is Brahma Gyan, or God realization. By knowing one drop, you cannot understand the entire ocean. So Atma Gyan can never be equal to Brahma Gyan. It's a starting point. It can be a starting point towards the absolute. So again, he's not using these words like, if you are going down the Brahman path, you'll never attain God. If you're going down demigod's path, you'll never attain God. Like that kind of stuff, kind of like, that's why Prabhupada is difficult for me sometimes, According to the Vedas, absolute knowledge is knowledge of God. If you know God and everything related to him, then all of your ignorance disappears. And in this one, he's not talking about that. So by this, his divine grace, as far as I understand, he's talking about self-realization here. So they receive Brahma Gyan, or knowledge of the Brahman, Atma Gyan, or knowledge of the self, an entire field of karmic. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the extent of my understanding of this verse. If you guys have any better understanding, please help me understand by commenting on the post. That's it for this verse. We'll do chapter 7, verse 30 in the next video. Wish you a day filled with lots and lots and lots of spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.